Hi everyone, in this video we are going to discuss your actual diet. What do you put into your mouth as a source of energy so that you can dunk that basketball or throw your football 100 yards or maybe even run a 4.40? Where does this energy come from? And so a lot of times, and most of the time, it has to do with your diet. What do you actually eat on a daily or maybe even a weekly basis? So usually when I ask this two students on campus, they come up with about 8 to 9 different categories. The first one is almost always meat, followed by desserts. Then we'll hear something like veggies. Hopefully I can get people to say veggies by time 3. If I'm asking on-campus college students, alcohol always comes up right away. Sometimes we'll get fruits in there. Sometimes people will say, let's see what else, soda, or maybe grain. Grain is a good one, but usually the one most people forget is fats, even though most people, just based on the American typical diet, most people are ingesting a lot of fat. So we're going to learn a lot more about this in the future. But what I want you to do right now is just look at these, 8 categories and think about your daily diet. So I'm just asking your daily diet. Which one do you eat the most of? Which of these 8? Go. Did you get an answer? Hopefully you did, and hopefully you didn't say alcohol. I really don't want to see that one at all, but maybe you did. But for me personally, if I was going to answer this question, I would say veggies. I eat a lot of veggies. And so just for interest of full disclosure, just because we'll be talking about this over the next couple weeks, I personally eat a lot of meat and a lot of veggies. That's the majority of my diet. Sometimes I eat some grains and other pieces like fruits and desserts, but we really try to limit that. I don't really drink much alcohol, but I do enjoy a margarita every once in a while. But I definitely have a lot of fat in my diet as well. So we're going to talk about all of this for the next couple weeks, and hopefully you'll be able to look at it and keep everything into perspective and start looking at your food and what you actually eat as a source of energy and thinking about energy instead of, that burger tastes really good. So hopefully we'll get there. But what I want you to do right now is just think about these 3 questions for the next maybe 3 weeks or so. The first one is, where does it come from? Where does it come from? And it meaning the food source. Where does it come from? Where do the grains come from? Where do the fats come from? Where do they come from? Number 2, is it associated with any environmental harm? So this is a big question, okay? We keep talking about energy sources for our planet, and we always bring it back to environmental harm. Are there greenhouse gases? Are we exploding nuclear waste everywhere? Okay, this is definitely a big picture concept. Are there any environmental harm coming from the fact that you really, really like to eat red meat? The answer is yes. Number 3, what about other countries? Other countries. Okay, so what we want to do with this last question is try to actually get a global perspective on food, okay? The Americans here, especially in the United States, we waste a lot of food, and we'll talk about that later on in the semester. But right now, I just want you to keep these questions in the back of your mind. Where does this food source come from? Is it associated with any environmental harm? And then what about other countries? Do they eat this? Do they use this? Do they do it in the same way we do? Okay, that's the big picture. Have a great week. Take care of yourself. Eat your veggies.